I think it was a very candid and open discussion about the challenges that we have right now with our Humane Society. I think everybody kind of recognizes that we have some capacity issues at the Humane Society.
Palm Coast Vice Mayor Teresa Pontieri recently met with the Flagler Humane Society and secured consensus at the latest City Council meeting for the organization to give a presentation on ways to improve conditions at the shelter.
We can then depend on staff to maybe work with them on a date to make that happen. I'm thinking like February to give them, get through the holidays and then give them about a month and a half or so to put those plans together and present to us what those would look like.
The shelter has faced criticism over capacity and oversight.
A short-term plan for the capacity issues as well as a long-term plan to come up with alternatives to having kennels, in the places that they have now, which is pretty much everywhere, wherever they can kind of fit them, to maybe looking at temporary buildings somehow while they put together what expanding the Flagler Humane Society would look like. I know that both us and the county have discussed alternatives to using the Flagler Humane Society. I have voiced that I think we probably will need both. We probably will need an additional shelter, and we will need the Flagler Humane Society to expand.
The move follows a joint meeting earlier this year with the Flagler County Commission, where officials agreed to seek representation on the Humane Society's board. Pontieri hopes the February presentation will chart a path forward. The Flagler Humane Society depends on approximately $400,000 per year from local governments to operate. Good morning, Flagler County. I'm Rich Carroll. You're listening to Flagler's Morning News on Friday, December 27th.
It's coming whether you think it's a fantastic opportunity or not. We are not able to stop people from moving to the state of Florida, and Flagler is one of the fastest growing counties in the country, and so that pressure is coming.
State Senator Tom Leake is weighing in on the debate over Palm Coast westward expansion.
Flagler County expected to limit funding requests this year in light of last year's snub from the governor. But Leake tells the Friday Free for All Palm Coast's westward expansion will remain a priority for the state.
The question for the state, and what I really looked at when we funded that money was, we really need another evacuation artery on the east side of the state of Florida. And if you look at the road development out there, not only will it have the collateral benefits of relieving congestion, those types of things, but when we get to the point of having another emergency, it will allow Floridians to move from Volusia, Brevard, Flagler, St. John's, expanding those arteries to get out of the state of Florida during a hurricane is just vital. And that's really the state's interest in going forward.
And Leake says, like it or not, Palm Coast is growing.
The same folks who don't want urban sprawl also don't want density, right? Well, you either have to pack them in or you have to spread them out. And so as people kind of think through this, and your listeners and the residents of Flagler, think through it is what assistant. If I accept the fact that we can't shut down population growth, and we can't, but if I accept that, then what is the balance between infill and sprawl? How should we handle that?
This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota US 1 St. Augustine, here to wow you.
I feel that we need better child tax credit. If we can have help with the child care, more women can work.
We continue our look at some of the 9 candidates running in Florida's 6th Congressional District special election.
Among the field of 9 candidates, Democrat Purvi Bangdiwala of Daytona Beach.
I born in India, and in 2004, I came in U.S. legal way, and I have 3 kids. I'm a Bachelor of Commerce. My accountancy was major. And after that, I have a lot of skills. There was one time I was a tax preparer. I have done a business and leadership program and courses, whatever I can. So I did multiple jobs as a single mother. I'm a lead pharmacy technician right now.
Bangdiwala says repairing America's broken healthcare system will be her top priority in Washington.
I feel so bad every single day that people skipping that treatment because they cannot afford that copay. The families have a burden of payments, and the older people, they have all this big deductible they cannot meet, and they skip their maintenance drugs. And this is all a broken system. We have to do something about it. That's the first thing. The second one is child tax credit.
From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Daryl Moody.
In other news, it's the final weekend of 2024, and there's plenty of family fun going on in Flagler County. This is Stacy with Fun for Augie Kids.
Come out and celebrate this magical season at the annual Fantasy Lights Festival. Gather your friends and family and enjoy a stroll around the beautiful lake, see the 56 light displays, Santa's Village and elf houses, and listen to holiday music. Tomorrow, musicians gather for a Gamble Jam to play in remembrance of James Gamble Rogers IV. Acoustical instruments of all types are welcome. Sunday, Gamble Rogers is hosting a guided kayak tour. This 2-hour tour explores the beautiful estuary with experienced guides. All levels are welcome and registration is required. For more on these events and others, please visit us on our website at fun4augiekids.com. Have a great weekend.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.
And now, Mike Licio with your WNZF local sports update.
It was a quiet week in the county, but FPC's basketball teams returned to the court today, hosting their annual tournament at the frozen tundra of the Anderson Gym, the Bulldog Holiday Invitational, today and tomorrow. For the locals, the FPC girls will tip off against Menendez at 6. The ladies are 9-2 on the season, rebounding from back-to-back losses with a 54-17 win against Rockledge last Friday. Kira Clark had 18, Alexandra Perez 14, and Ava Works had 10 for the Dogs. They'll also play Palaca tomorrow. Immediately following tonight's game will be the WNZF Sports Network Game of the Week, when the boys host Whitman-Hanson Regional High, making the trip down from Whitman, Massachusetts. The Dogs had their 5-game winning streak snapped against Colonial last Saturday in New Smyrna Beach. Junior Anthony Hampton leads FPC with 16 points per game. He says the winning streak started with first-year head coach Greg Shirley and the work the team did during the summer.
I credit that to this summer playing with my teammates and building that chemistry and our new coach, Coach Shirley. I mean, he gave us time to put in his new system so we could develop off of that.
Shirley said that growth has carried on into the season.
We're getting better every day. There's still a lot of room for growth, but we're getting better every day. They believe that they can be successful, and that's a big part of it.
The visiting Panthers are 2-0, led by junior Josh Manchester and senior captain Dylan Peralt, who are averaging 15 and 14 respectively. Coach Robert Rogers says the team is rebuilding after a 15-8 season a year ago. Tip-off is scheduled for 7:30 p.m. Watch live on the Flagler Radio YouTube channel and the WNZF Facebook page. Saturday, the Bulldogs will host Clay. Tickets to the Bulldog Holiday Invitational are available through presto.fpcbulldogs.com. Games tip off at 10 a.m. both today and tomorrow and continue throughout the day. This is your home for local sports, with updates Mondays and Fridays. From the WNZF Sports Desk, I'm Mike Licio.